Travis, you look at this past weekend, again, defense gets it done in, first of all, a game against Utah, a little sluggish at times. The game against Colorado was, that looked like an NCAA tournament game, the way the two teams were playing in that one.
Yeah, that started off. You know, it was interesting because the officials came in with a mindset that, okay, we're going to let them play. And you're getting a little bit of that in the league this year. And I think if across the board everybody did that and you knew that was coming, it would probably help everybody. But you don't get that in every game. So sometimes all of a sudden they're calling every time there's a hand. And it probably is confusing to the kids a little bit. But it became pretty obvious in the first 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes this game that was not going to be much called. And because I thought there was a couple fouls and we went to the basket and official came by and he said, we passed on some at the other end too. And truthfully, that was fair because they did. We probably had some fouls that would have called on us. So kids adjusted to it, and it was guys were really getting after it both ways. And I appreciated Tad Boyle's comment because, and I really liked it. I think he's done a great job. He said, early on when we played them, we were the best defensive team in the league. And he said, now all of a sudden I think Cal might be. Look at the percentages. And that's pleasing to me. I hope it's pleasing to the guys because it's, defense is effort, it's heart, it's want to. And so the Utah game, I thought we were a little loose. Got away with it because Utah had a hard time scoring, and we kind of got away from them a little bit. But the Colorado game was very, very intense, and it was hard to get a basket, and it certainly wasn't going to get one for free.
One of those games, and a rare game, where a college basketball team wins without making a three-pointer, and yet your team went 10 for 10 at the free throw line. And in the last 4 games, your team has given up, in order, 46, 59, 46, and 46 points. And you are, statistically, the number 1 defensive team in the conference, keeping people below 40% shooting from the field.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we have to do. And if we do it from the get-go, I don't know, Stanford, really, I'd said going into the Colorado game that from here on out, Colorado, Stanford, whatever we face in the Pac-12 tournament and whatever's beyond that we're going to have to be ready to play. We're not going to have the luxury of going out and feeling our way into the game. We're going to have to be ready to play because I feel like they're good enough that if we get into the game and aren't ready to play, that we'll get ourselves in a hole we can't dig ourselves out of. So they're playing hard, generally speaking. We've struggled from 3. I think probably Alan Crabb's our best three-point shooter. I don't think there's any question about that. To not make a three-point shot and really only get 10 free throws, because that means we were going to the basket a lot. But we made those. We did a good job on the boards. But I thought everybody really hung in and competed. I was pleased with Robert Thurman, for example. Last part of the game we put him in, and he was not going to let their low post catch the ball. He was sprinting, hustling to spots. So it was a nice win. The crowd was great. So it was pretty nice, and we just got to finish this thing off now.
Well, one of the guys that had a great game against Colorado was David Kravish. He had his 3rd double-double of the season. Let's get more with David. This has been a season of growth and development for David Kravish. He has started every game, leads the Bears in rebounding and block shots, and he has also become more assertive at the offensive end.
All the coaches and even some of the players have been getting on me like, I got to be more aggressive and start shooting the ball more, because there are situations when I catch the ball, like you said, and I'll pass up a shot instead of taking it, but it's a good shot for me, and so everybody's getting on me and just learning from that. When I see somebody open, my first thought is, that guy's wide open, so I got to hit him. So they're telling me to be a little more selfish.
Statistically, this has been one of the best defensive teams in Cal history. The Bears are number 1 in conference games in 2 critical categories: points allowed and field goal percentage defense. In fact, the Bears have allowed opponents to shoot less than 40% from the field and are on pace to be the best at that since 1960. This team has already broken the school record for blocks. The 6'10 Kravish is a big part of that. He's top 5 on the single season and career lists, but isn't sure exactly how he does it.
I don't know, it's just timing, I guess, just knowing when everything's going to happen. When the guy's going up, you got to be able to read and react. I guess that would be it. And then having long arms and being tall.
Despite his slender frame, Kravish is among the conference leaders in rebounding.
It's reacting to the ball and going to the ball first and not you have to be able to take the contact. You can't be afraid, shy away from the contact. You just got to go to the ball and attack the ball, as opposed to focusing on other things like that. You have to attack the ball. I mean, hit your man and go get the ball.
All great stuff, but to the Missouri native, it's all about wins and losses and enjoying the ride.
It's been a good year. It's been fun. Learned a lot. Like just coming together as a team. We lost Jorge and Harper, and obviously those are two big leaders, two big chemistry guys, and so we're coming together as a team right now, and it's been a good experience.
And with a few more wins, that experience could improve from good to great. The same may be said for Kravish. Coach, you look at David, and he's been up and down a little bit, but in the second half, particularly in conference play, it looks like he's doing some more things. He's more active. He's holding his ground a little bit better, and he's blocking shots, which is certainly helping your field goal percentage defense.
Yeah, I think one of the things defensively that is happening for us is that with David, Richard, even Crab and Ty, the long arms, we're getting some, shot blocks. And I think people are starting to be aware of that you're not going to necessarily get a free trip to the basket. But David I think people are starting to really appreciate David more. You look and you don't see the flash and the glitter maybe on some of the others, but he's so steady. And really all he cares about is winning. Statistics are the last things on his mind. So he cares about winning, and he gets a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and next thing you know, he winds up where if it happens to fall into place for him, we're getting into the paint a little bit, and guys are doubling up, and he's getting offensive putbacks, getting some points there, getting rebounds. So it's all been pretty good. And David's one of those guys that everybody would like to have on their team, although you're not. You say, well, what exactly? Where do you pass it to him? What does he do exactly? I think he's going to get better and better. The stronger he gets as he continues to grow into his game, I think he's just going to get better and better.
And he's on pace to set the school record for block shots in the season. Your team's actually set the school record for blocks in the season as well. This is an unusual week. It's the last week of the regular season, and you've got a game on Wednesday, a couple other games that night, but the real important games for everybody else seem to be Thursday and Saturday. So you're going to play on Wednesday, and you're going to know where you sit, but you're not going to know how it all shakes out by the time the game ends.
No, well, it is interesting. I mean, you look at the Wednesday games, the Sunday games, the amount of prep that certain teams have versus what other people have. Stanford played Sunday, and the teams that came in had a whole week to prepare because they played the Thursday. I mean, it's been different that way. As you mentioned, the fact that is all we can do is take care of our business. We've got to do our job, and then whatever shakes out. I think the initial thing was that Oregon had to lose one, but UCLA has to lose one too. And I think going to Colorado for Oregon will be tough, but I don't know whether Washington will be able to generate enough to get UCLA up there. Certainly playing on the road, but UCLA's playing well, Oregon's playing well. A lot of people are playing well, and you just got to keep doing the job. I've said all along that maybe you'd say that Oregon State and Utah and Washington State might not, be able to win every game, but of the other 9 teams, I think every one of the teams could win. And Stanford certainly is amongst it. They are reside in 9th right now, but man, that's a pretty talented 9th place team. So the league is better, and there's a lot of people that can win.
Well, the Bears have won 7 consecutive conference games. They haven't won 8 in a row in conference play since 1960, so we could have some history on Wednesday night. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll talk to you later. Okay. Head coach Mike Montgomery, CalBears.com for the Men's Basketball Report.